Good morning, good morning. We're here today on Wednesday Wisdom. I hope everyone's having a wonderful mid-week morning. And we are here with the gorgeous Artemiss. Good morning, Artemiss.
Good morning. How are you, darling?
Yeah, good. We're both in lockdown. We're just talking about the pros and cons of lockdown this morning and needing to see humans. And lucky you've got more than I'm here in my house by myself, right? So, you've got people that you can hug in your house, which is lovely.
Yeah. Oh, that's hard. So you guys didn't get that personal bubble clause that's just been introduced to New South Wales?
I don't know. I do go. I do my own thing. So I do go to the shops and make sure I distance and stuff like that. But I haven't been near any family. I've been Zooming people. So yeah. But what's the personal clause bubble?
I think that it's something that I thought they had in Victoria before that they've just introduced to New South Wales, that if you do live by yourself, there is one person you can nominate outside of your house who is the one person you're allowed to see.
Okay.
Because they're starting to recognize the mental health toll
of
people being by themselves, locked up. I mean, solitary is a prison thing for a reason.
Yeah. Luckily, I'm an introvert. So, and I do a lot of stuff and I communicate with a lot of people, but that sounds good. I wonder, so you can do that in the other person can have more than one person living in the house? I have to check it.
Yeah. Okay. Just check it out. I think it's something that I heard was introduced when they extended the lockdown in Sydney a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know, each state might have its own thing.
Yeah, I have to check it out.
I think they said that they originally had it in Victoria when they had the big lockdown last year. So it's a little bit of a moving feast. So we got to keep up to date too.
Yeah, that's so true, right? Which just goes in absolutely, flows in really lovely with our topic today. So before we start, what is it that I know what you do, but you want to share with the audience, with us beautiful women, what it is that you do, what your passion is and your purpose in life?
Absolutely. Thank you. So I'm a clarity coach. So what that means, because it's so unclear what a clarity coach does. My passion is guiding people to connect to their own inner wisdom, learning how to discern for themselves what is their truth. So many of us, even the ones raised by the most balanced, well-intentioned, loving parents, pick up ways of being to please other people, the coping mechanisms. So we kind of get into these patterns, which at some point of our life served us, but then we get later in life and we start noticing that, I'm working really hard, but it's not going anywhere, or I'm doing this and I keep getting this other block. So we become really aware that certain things aren't working as we'd like, or the patterns we've created, we're really ready, kind of get desperate enough to want to let go.
Yeah.
And start looking to other people. We a bit conditioned in our society to have, I just want the pill to fix it. I just want some guru to tell me what to think, right?
Yeah.
But no one person's way is ever going to be everything you need. So I believe we have most of the answers already in us.
Yes.
It's just been layered upon layer, with well-intentioned shoulds and other people's loving influences, much less the, less kind ones. So a lot of that, I work with people about how to recognize their own truth. I don't want them taking my truth. I want them to have their own truth.
Yeah, absolutely.
We look at their patterns, their shadow self to integrate. So this is my playground. It's my passion. I love when people get that aha moment about how awesome they truly are. So I do that around personal things, like, people are feeling overwhelmed, or they, can't quite figure out how to do something, or they recognize a pattern. But I also do it around business alignment, because how we do business is an extension of us when we are a heart-centered person.
Mm-hmm.
I find sometimes things show up more clearly, or we're willing to admit to them in business.
Yeah.
It goes back to us, right?
Yes, yeah. Everything goes back to yourself. Yeah, absolutely.
Everything goes back to us. So I find sometimes people are more willing to look at it from a business perspective because it's a little bit less confronting than kind of going, oh crap, I'm the one doing this to myself. I'm the one creating the havoc. So you kind of approach it from the business side. Then when you reel it back, oh, it's me. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so true. You know, that's how I've lived my life is, you know, when there's something comes up, I look at, okay, what do I need to do? What's in me? What do I need to adjust? What thought pattern, you know, what's going on for me here? Why am I reacting instead of responding to this situation, right?
Beautiful.
And so, yeah. And so you do, you know, like, I've said this a number of times on this particular segment, that if I'd not realized years ago, like how vital it is to have a coach or have someone that sees behind you, like, and helps you and guides you through that, I would have got coaching years ago, you know, like, because now I'm not without a coach. I've always got someone that I'm working with and mentoring and stuff because, you know, it just accelerates your growth and your success and all of those things, right? So, and so...
I think coaches need coaches, healers need healers.
Oh, absolutely.
I went through a stage where I'm one of those, I'm an organizer. I'm very community-hearted, so I love creating purpose for a group or bringing people together. And I remember I was talking to one of my mentors a couple of years ago, and she said, do you ever just participate in anything? And I'm like, no. And she said, there's a thing. There's a very different dynamic. There's a very different grace in allowing yourself to be a participant. Not only from the point of view of letting go of the control of having the group, but allowing yourself to receive. Because a lot of us come into healing and coaching because of our own journey and how we want to serve others. But it's really easy to then trip into the martyr thing.
Yes.
And one of the best ways, if you don't allow others to give to you,
yes,
you know there's a block you need to heal.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you can't see those if you're constantly, like, I remember when, you know, I could get up on stage and be, you know, talking like I have talked in front of thousands of people and, you know, had no problem with it. But standing around in a crowd and talking with a couple of people used to, you know, freak me out. And so, yeah, I was aware of that block. That's the introvert, you know, oh my gosh, I've got to be, you know, small talk and all that sort of stuff. So all of that's gone now, but I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't have been coaching.
Yes.
You know, had someone coaching me. So let's talk about self-love and what you know, the boundaries and the things that you wanted to share today.
Sure. So I call it self-loving boundaries.
Self-loving boundaries,
really separate it, because I know in, you know, personal development and, you know, psychology, we talk a lot about boundaries. I make the distinction about self-loving boundaries because sometimes what I've seen is people's way of holding a boundary is by attacking the other.
Yes.
So it's more about, again, as you said, the difference between response and reaction. So a lot of times I've seen boundaries portrayed as attack of the other. For me, self-loving boundaries is always about honoring me. It's about my truth. It's never to teach a lesson. It's never to show the other person up. It's never to say, look how right I am and you're wrong. Because anytime we're doing that, then we go into fear and control and manipulation.
And there's something to look at, right? There's something internally. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So when we're coming from that, it's about our blocks, our fears, our patterns. It's never about a heartfelt desire to go, you know, I respect myself. These are my boundaries. I would like you to respect them. If you don't, then I give myself permission to leave or withdraw or to say I've had enough, right? But all of that, it has a very different feel in the body when it comes from our inner trust and inner self, as opposed to it's like a pushback.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. And so the whole process, you take women and men, you work with both,
men as well.
Yeah. And
anyone who's open to looking at their stuff.
Yeah, that's
incredibly people who are open to owning their stuff.
Yeah.
That's the tripwire for me.
Yes, yeah. Because that's the clarity, right? Because there's a very big difference between owning and looking.
Yeah.
Because you can look in and then be repelled by something and then get triggered. Yeah. But when you look in and you go, okay, oh wow, there's a trigger for me, and I need to own it. Like breathe into it. Yes, this is something that I've created. It's something that I've created.
Yes. I used to go for, I did some training sessions as well as healing sessions by an Aboriginal shaman 20 years ago, something. And one of the things he said was, until you own the shit you've created, you can't own the miracles you can create. It's the same power. It's the same responsibility.
Yeah.
It's all available. But if you can't see how you're contributing to what's messing things up, how can you own the power to create something different? It's the same thing. And I'm like, took a little while for that to kind of sink in.
To process that. Yeah. It's so true, right? Because if you're charged on either side, like if you're charged with the success of something or the miracles, then you're going to be charged with the rejection and the disappointment and the so-called failures, right? So you're going to be charged on either side. It's being okay with that, finding that middle ground and finding joy in both. Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's something that I need to work on. Let's work on it. I've got the opportunity to, create more of myself, let more light in, as we were talking about before we started, creating more joy and more light in on the world and the planet right now is really crucial. Hey,
exactly. Right now, I was talking to a client yesterday that the interesting thing that's happened during the past 18 months because of the pandemic is that before that, there was a lot of noise in our lives. So it sometimes took my clients longer to recognize their patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So I might know something, but I don't give anybody the answers, because then there would be my answers. So I take people through a process so they can start to recognize their own patterns, because long after they're finished working with me, life is still going to happen. I want them to have the process and the knowing of how to deal with them. I don't want them to be reliant on me.
Absolutely.
So I would take them through the same process, and it would take some of them much longer because there was so much noise. Right?
Yeah.
But what the pandemic has done, especially when we're in lockdown, it has brought in new stressors for sure. But it's stripped away some other of the typical noise.
Yes.
So things are kind of like really sticking out there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many people went, like, not so much now, but the first lockdown, all those, like last year, was it? March last year.
Yeah.
That first lockdown, how many people, especially women, that I heard was saying, I'm going to kill my family. We've never spent this much time together, and it's really interesting. Okay, that's something that, you need to look at, right? Yeah. So I haven't heard that as much now. I think we're all getting used to the pattern, right? And found different means and cleared our stuff. I remember I did a medical intuitive course years and years ago, and the woman that I did it with, she was saying, she told me about 2022. She said 2022 is going to be the year of judgment. And that was like, I'm talking, would have been 10 years ago that I did that.
Wow.
And I ran into her before all this started. And I said, I've been thinking about that, and that's I've thought about that since, and it's going to be interesting to see what comes up. And she said, yes, and 2021 is a year of self-discovery, is looking within. So that's what you're most probably finding the same. So many people are ready and willing to open up and explore what's going on. They're waking up spiritually. They're looking at their own self-development, at their own personal growth, and clearing those shadows and those triggers and stuff. So it's time to be working, working on your stuff and clearing and getting all of that, because I'm sure you've noticed the same. A lot of people identify with that and think that that's who they are. And there's a fear of actually looking, because there's an unknown. And we're here to say, open up a little bit more and you'll see that you're actually the light. You create miracles. You can create, creations of your own that are amazing. So it's beautiful time, actually. I feel it is a beautiful time.
Yeah, there's many blessings amongst the challenges. There's many
blessings. Yeah. And that's not to take away from the pain and the the suffering that some people are going through. And I do give my, there's people in my life that I keep in contact with, because I know, and it's some stuff that's just coming up out of the blue that's not even pandemic, is other stuff going on. And so, spend lots of time loving other people as well as your own. So, your own self-love and boundaries and stuff. So,
definitely.
So Artemiss, how do people get in contact with you? You've got a Facebook group. I've been on it. I am on it, actually.
All right, yeah. So I do have a Facebook group called Spiral to Self. So we explore all the kind of questions around intuition, personal development, shadow work, spiritual growth, anything that people want to bring up. It's a new group. It's still growing.
Yeah.
I also have a Facebook business page, which is Artemiss K Clarity Coach. And I have a website that has more information about what I do and my approach to things. Yeah, so I'm very contactable.
Yeah, so you'll put all the links in. We're going to put this on YouTube as well. So hi, everyone that's watching YouTube. If you want to hit the bell, you can, and get notified when we've got new content coming out. And we will put it in the YouTube as well, but you'll put it in the Facebook group Women of Light Movement.
Yes.
So people can get in contact with you. And do you have some sort of free session, 30-minute chat or something so they can get
So
awesome.
So on my website there's a little, or through the Facebook page, there's a Let's Talk booking. So it's 30 minutes where we really get into what's your challenge. Let's explore that. And it's interesting because sometimes just having that 30-minute opportunity to really unpack that gives people some insight into, I kind of hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah.
So, for 30 minutes, we just explore what's going on for you, what's on the other side of it, and then whether or not there's a opportunity for me to support you, because it's really important for this kind of work that you feel really safe with the people you work with, because if you're going to spend energy, protecting yourself by holding up a mask, it's not going to serve you. And I'm not after that kind of. I don't want to look. I have on occasion had to fire a client who was using me to keep stuck.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
or other times where I've said, sweetheart, you don't need me. You need a psychologist.
Yeah, yeah.
So, for me, I'm very clear on who I can support and what I can offer, value for, and I think that's why, you really have to resonate. You really have to go, this person speaks my language. They understand where I've come from. But yeah, so their 30-minute session is available for anybody to explore and go from there.
Awesome. Excellent. So you'll put all those links in the bottom and we can, people can access them.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Artemiss. It's such a pleasure to chat with you. We'll have to get a Zoom with you and me and Aggie and pretend and have a chai or something at home. Because that was fun the last time we did it.
That was beautiful. That was.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you had that photo saying, look, I do go out of the house.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, because I do need to show proof sometimes. I am. I'm such a hermit. So yeah, I do. I have to show proof that I go out. It's always the same green walls.
But as I was saying to you before we started, it's so beautifully color coordinated.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it. I love this green. I'm a bit of a green person, so yeah. It's funny that, and yes, the orange sort of goes in well with it.
Yeah, especially because you get the bits of orange and the lion behind you. So
yeah, that's right. I never thought of that. And my scarves.
Yes, there you go. So coordinated, sweetheart.
Yeah. Take care. So lovely to have you on here, Artemiss.
Thank you for inviting me, and thank you. It was nice to see you again, sweetheart.
Yeah, take care. Mwah.
Bye-bye.
Bye all.